Well, the reason we originally put the whole idea together of having some traits of an idealistic leader was that we wanted them to serve sort of as the values that we share as an organization. Some of the early staff members and I really wanted to study and say, what are the key elements that help people create social change? Because ultimately what we're trying to do is help our students overcome enormous odds. It's not fair, the odds that low-income students in America face. And so we really look at these traits as sort of the guiding principles of how to make social change.
The idealistic leader traits encompass our culture as an organization.
Values that you can come back to and re-examine from time to time that keep you on track with your mission and give you guideposts for how you want your workplace to function.
So without that explicitly stated, you might have some people going above and beyond, you might have some people talking about being the best in the world, but the only way to have an entire organization move in that direction is to explicitly state it and talk about it, which is what we're doing here. And I think that obviously leads to our great results, because in everything that we do then, we're trying to be the best in the world at it, and that results in really great programming.
Now, they take different meaning for different people. They're not something you can just memorize or just do a certain way. Everybody brings their own life experience to them. And I would also say, we all work on them all the time. If these were easy, if everybody in the world embraced these core values, we probably wouldn't have a lot of the problems we have in America and around the world. So they're really meant to be a guidepost on how you can make social change.
Strive to be delightful is one of my favorite idealistic leader traits. To me, what it really means is that here at College Possible, we don't just aim to be good or great, we really aim to be the best in the world at what we do. And that's important to me because our work is so important. I mean, it sounds a lot to say we aim to be the best at the world, but our students are so talented and so amazing that they deserve our best in every way that we interact with them.
Looking for opportunities to go above and beyond the call of duty, it's looking for things that you can do that sometimes are real small.
I had to get to our all-team meeting, and I had this moment where I kind of hadn't planned thoroughly, and I thought, I need to clean up this room because there's stuff everywhere. And I could see that there were two AmeriCorps members kind of watching me. And I looked at them, I don't know what to do. I got to get to this all-team. And they were so nice. They were like, you know what, you go. You got to get that meeting started. We'll clean up. We'll get everything together. We'll get it back to your office for you. And that might seem like a small, silly thing, but again, they didn't have to do that. And I think that's the beauty of this Strive to be Delightful, is going above and beyond doesn't always have to be this really gigantic, monumental thing. Sometimes it's just in the way we interact with each other and treat one another, and just keep an eye out for one another and know that we all could use someone else's help from time to time, and that when we go above and beyond for others, people notice that, and that makes this place really special.
To me, energize those in your presence means to come to work every day with a high level of energy, a high level of positivity. Energy is infectious, and bringing that high level absolutely permeates throughout a group. It permeates onto anybody that you're around.
Many people, especially our service corps members, they're out in the schools and at colleges and all over the place doing really hard work that can sometimes be very challenging, sometimes wears you down. And we'd really like when they come back on a Friday for a staff meeting, for example, that they sort of get lifted up by each other, by their colleagues, and by the leadership team. And that's sort of what we mean about bringing some positive energy, so that there's really confidence and faith that even though there's ups and downs in the work, that collectively, together, we're actually making the kind of social change we're aiming for.
The work that we do is incredibly important, and having a high level of energy and excitement can often emphasize how important something is. If we're energetic and excited around our students, it helps convince and motivate them that college is so important, and ultimately it helps us reach our result.
You can't really make social change if you can't identify the source of a problem, but it's really about learning to find solutions. And that's where the essence of kind of bringing that positive energy, the can-do attitude, a solution-oriented approach to things. We want to be that kind of organization where when somebody sees a problem, rather than just sitting around and complaining about it and kibitzing about it, instead we would say, well, what can we do about that?
Here at College Possible, I say to our staff all the time, we change the world every single day. And that's really hard work. And so it's important when times get really challenging that we fall on our idealistic self and say that we can overcome these barriers for our students.
Eyes on the prize is really, really first and foremost about keeping our mission and our students right at the center.
Keeping your eyes on the prize to me is really our students' successes. It's watching our students achieve that SAT score increase, watching our students get accepted to their dream college, and watching our students ultimately be able to persist in college and graduate.
One of the things I try to do as the leader of College Possible is always look at every question I'm faced with and say, how does this affect our students? Does it help us serve more students? Does it help us serve students better? Does it help us, reach students in more ways using different technology? So all of the things we're doing are really aimed at how do we keep students front and center.
There are certainly times at College Possible that you feel like doing something as substantial as overcoming the degree divide is a Sisyphusian task. That it'll somehow, no matter your efforts, that there will always be someone opposing you and pushing that rock back down the hill.
Cynicism is this corrosive belief that nothing can really change, that no leaders are truly authentic or real or trying to do the right thing, that everything should be questioned and doubted. And so when we say challenge cynicism, what we're trying to evoke around here is this idea that we really can change the world together, that is possible.
When we're working in a field where it's so hard to feel like we're making progress, or where a lot of our projects have to be slow moving just because of the nature of the work, that it can be really easy to be like down and serious about things, but we got to keep things upbeat, got to stay energized.
So the challenge for us is not to slip into cynicism. It happens to all of us. That happens. Everybody can do that. But to try to call each other on it and say, hey, that's a little bit cynical. I actually think that we can get this done. I actually think there is a solution to this problem. And so challenging cynicism is really kind of calling on all of us to bring out our inner idealist and to have that come more to the surface.
To recognize, acknowledge, and respect the perspectives of others. To identify and create a space where people feel like they can be themselves and their authentic selves, and they'll be acknowledged as being themselves and acknowledged as who they are, and that they'll be respected for who they are, even if someone doesn't agree completely with maybe how they feel on a certain issue or how they view the world. Through their own experiences, to know that I'll still be acknowledged and respected and recognized as Trinace and having those unique perspectives. It just feels really good knowing that.
The essence of understanding the problems that other people face is trying to put yourself in their shoes and say, what would life be like from that person's point of view? What might they need?
So much of the work that we do as an organization requires understanding and respect.
When you can empathize with someone else's point of view, their position, it begins to help you think about your own privilege, your own assets and benefits, and how you might share those with others. Sometimes that's by serving, like in this organization. Sometimes it's by giving. Sometimes it's by becoming a leadership team member and joining our team and making it part of your career.
Who you are and the experiences that you have differ from other people's experiences and their backgrounds, but also respecting those differences are important. And I think that our students are so unique for so many different reasons, and we have to approach the work that we do knowing that they're unique as individuals and knowing that we are unique in our own different way.
There are all these moments where no one in this organization is able to be successful nor help our students without other people contributing, and I think we just naturally always say thank you.
So much of the work we do depends on the generosity of other people. So almost all of the funds that support our work come from people who just give it to us because they share our belief that every person from a low-income background in America deserves a fair chance to go as far as their talents and energies will take them.
Even writing a little note or anything like that, and I think it really brings together the importance of recognizing all of us are pretty wonderful as it is, but all of us as a team, as a collective, are really the ones that help make college possible what it is at the end of the day.
We work really long hours and we bust our butt for students. And we come into the office and you're just surrounded by a bunch of people who like want to love and support you. You also get to celebrate with students, and you get to accomplish a lot with them. I think having fun is about overcoming obstacles and doing it together as a team.
I feel like everyone radiates fun and happiness and energy here, so it's hard not to have fun here.
I think if we don't think about having fun, if we don't think about how to take care of ourselves and other things like that, it's going to make our job even that much harder. So I appreciate that College Possible cares about having fun and that everybody in this building wants to have fun with us.
But I feel like everyone is just engaged, and maybe that is because idealistic traits are just kind of, shown to you in the beginning. But yeah, I think we have a lot of fun here.
When you're having fun with your teammates, when you're having fun with your students, when you're loving what you do, everything else just falls into place. I think having fun is really important because it shows that you love education, you love what you're doing, and you love your work.
We want to be that kind of place, a place that takes its work seriously. We measure results, we work hard on that, we want to serve our students the best we can, but we want to have fun while we do it, make good friends, and really enjoy it.
Our students are so unique in their own way. They do become a reflection of us. And having these idealistic leader traits so embedded and ingrained in our culture, they then become a reflection of those idealistic leader traits. And I think that if we mirror them, and our students are in spaces with us mirroring these idealistic leader traits, then they become little idealistic leaders themselves, right?
Many people who are in this organization work really hard, and we honor hard work, but what really matters the most when it's all said and done is whether the student we work with gets to college and graduates or not. And obviously we can't control that totally. It's not all within our control. But what really matters to me is actually getting the results for students and trying to never lose focus on that. There's lots of organizations, especially as we're approaching almost 20 years old now, where they start to sometimes lose their focus, their mission creeps along a little bit. And I think it's really important to stay focused, to do everything we can to ensure that we help our students overcome this enormous gap that our country faces.